It is now open for questions. So any type of question may be asked.
Okay, one additional thing is not that I know everything. So you can ask the question. Anybody here can also answer the question. If I cannot do it, some of you can do it. So, but it should be some kind of discussion, interaction. That's very important because it is one-way process of giving lectures, which is very common in our society, in our institution, is absolutely useless. Absolutely useless. Even you have to change in universities, our teaching methodology also should change. At least maybe 70%, 80% should be talk, and the rest 20% should be discussion in classroom lectures. Maybe more, maybe 50-50 or something like that.
Reverse osmosis process can remove all this fluoride or arsenic. It's not.
You can remove the salt, and if you take salt water, you can remove. And you can again see, I don't have to go into details of this. It can be used definitely, but then it's very expensive process. It's very expensive.
Reverse osmosis, why not reverse osmosis? Those filters are available only with the help of citrus. Only the process that we have to apply water with force so that it goes through the column. And we can remove it.
No, you see, what you say is correct. It can be done. In fact, I have listened to a lecture here, right in this room. Somebody talked about, I think he talked about IIT Kharagpur's discovery on some removal of impurities from water. And he himself admitted that if you go to a village, to run his machine, you need electricity. Okay? And whole lot of other thing, which is not available in the process. So if you make something reverse osmosis, the village doesn't have, either they do not have electricity or they do not have electricity for a whole day. Then what do you do with this? So that kind of system comes. So we have to reorganize that idea into solving a problem. Okay. So what is done in all these filters is basically filtration, adsorption. So that it become a very simple, straightforward thing. You find a good absorbent material, put it in a column, and let the water come and flow through this. And that's what the filters are there. Come through this, and then pure water comes. And that will work for some time, and then you have to replace the filter and so on.
Sir, are there any filter to remove arsenic and fluoride in market available in the market for the rural people? Most of the people are suffering for the fluoride. It is a underground disease due to the rocks. So,
first part of your answer is yes, is there. Second part of the question is that whether affordable by the village people, no? So that is not there. Government will not bother most of the things, even though they talk about it. But basically, people like you, me, and all of us, we have to do that. In Assam, there are large number of people, students, and they are doing this so-called pollution studies. What they do is go to different places, collect the water, and analyze pollution, and then write a thesis. Okay, but that is not going to solve the problem. Actually, not many people are working on actual problem of removing the impurities. So that part of work not done by many. Some people are doing in Tezpur University. They have done something. One of my students is there, Robin Datta. He is there. I think he is a professor in Tezpur University, chemistry department. He has come up with something. But the point is, even that cost effectiveness, I do not know about it. He has found something that removes arsenic. To have a rainwater harvesting, again in the village areas, it will be very difficult maybe. Here in the cities, you have big houses, you can collect water.
no, sir,
So
they can harvest.
they can harvest.
Pond also.
Actually, what you need is environmental solutions. So who will do the solution? If you wait for the government to do it, I have doubts. So somebody, students from university, college, they should come, again scientists here. So you should make people aware of this thing. This is one thing you can do. You can make people aware of this, and so that people will get the idea and then do something. And then go to villages and tell people that you do that. So that is what. So in our country, this is the problem. We are not trying to solve the problems. We try to find that there is a problem and then make lots of noise about it. That's what we are doing. Yes, let me tell you that some of the things like National Assessment and Accreditation Council is there. No, they are encouraging all the colleges and universities to have water harvesting technology to be installed. In fact, I'm also one of the person who go there as a chairman of the committee, and we're supposed to go and check whether the college have some done this or not, water harvesting. So that is being encouraged at different levels. But do you have it here? I mean, I can ask honorary director about it. Do you have water harvesting in this institute?
But we have a natural pond of it. Our own water goes.
So anyway, so actually what is our problem in this country is that we think a lot, we try to find problems, but what we do not find is a solution to the problems. And that way a solution which is affordable for the people. So there are two things, find a solution, and the next step is the solution should be affordable so that people can accept it. So that is, see, I tell you, many of you who live in Guwahati city and also in areas like Barpeta or Jorhat, see, there are lots of iron in our drinking water. In my house also, this you take iron, you take deep tube well, lots of iron. So to remove that iron, that itself is a big problem. So of course, details I don't know to tell you, we are having this, lots of people are having this, it's layer of sand, layer of charcoal, and layer of stone, and so we do this, and iron filters are available. That costs 40,000 rupees, and every year you have to keep on replacing it. So who can afford that? There is no doubt that water harvesting is the right solution. There is absolutely no, and place like us in Assam Northeast, there's so much water comes. God is giving water to us, and so I think there's no any problem at all. But still we are having water problem. In Guwahati, you don't get water, and if you get it, it's so much thing. So now the question is, a very interesting thing has come out for this discussion. Who is going to do this?
So I think government has to take a proactive role, because like government can introduce some bylaws. They can introduce like building bylaws.
Yes.
Some of the government has already initiated.
It is. Is there?
But it is not compulsory.
Sir, that will not solve the problem, because that is the higher class people, they can construct the building, but the lower class, those who are staying in the Karbi Anglong, they are suffering, they have no village, there's a hut. So we should think for that people, because we can afford 40,000.
In fact, the village also,
Yes.
but even in the hut,
At the same time, if we able to...
No, that is already there, but
no, sir, even in the hut or maybe whatever maybe.
even in the Guwahati
even
city,
gutters and that can be
Guwahati
now. Even
area,
bamboo gutters can be used.
drinking water is a problem, whether it is contaminated or non-contaminated is different, but in 3 months, here in Guwahati, all people are suffering. Most of the area, populated area, drinking water is a problem in these 3 to 4 months.
In fact, that is something that I have tried to highlight in my talk also, that our problems are not very great problem, not rocket science, but this thing. See, one of the biggest problem of scientific thing in India, in Assam, is providing drinking water to people, and we are unable to do it. But then all our institutes and universities, we are doing whole hi-fi research work, nanomaterials and this and that, So I think who will solve this problem? Of course, as he said, government should do it. But government, as you know, they have their own restrictions. I think it's the people that should do. In fact, this is that's why there's this National Science Day theme is a science for the people and people for science. So the other aspect, that people should actually put pressure on the government to do it. People should get together and try to solve a problem on their own by encouraging people to do this. Okay, maybe villages, it's an important problem, as you can see, that how to do something so that people in a village can collect water and store. Maybe you design a rooftop there with a cheaper materials so that water can come and flow and come. So these are lots of things to be done. That's why I feel it is not new to me. Last for many years I've been thinking about it. So that's what I like to encourage my students or everybody who is listening to me. 80% of your time you spend in whatever you're doing. Hi-fi research, rocket science, nanotechnology, quantum dots, you do it. But at least 20% of your time you spend in solving some of these problems. And the best way to do is you can get together like this and discuss. And then encouraging people is one, motivating. Motivation is very important. If you do it, the people will take on their own. If you can give a cheap alternative, people will build on their own. You must tell them the solution, how to do it. And then I think they will take on their own. And if you can train some 2-3 people, it will go on. Others will do it.
Yeah.
All you have to do is every village, some few people, if you can train them. But there's another challenge for all of us. We are thinking, we are interested in doing this, is to have some innovative solutions. Some innovative solutions to this. So I think this institute can do lots of things. You have an innovative sensor also. So I think some innovative ideas of solving many of these problems, I think that will be useful.
Sir,
Okay.
what
Yeah.
we are discussing is like a natural problem. We have some problem like a man-made problem. Like scientists develop insecticides and pesticides.
Oh, okay.
Now in
Okay.
all Kharupetia, these vegetables we are eating. So I think it is also a very big problem now. Now in vegetables, these pesticides, insecticides. So how we can address these things?
No, lots of people are talking about it, and there's some solutions to these things. And you don't use chemical fertilizers. You can grow your food organically. Okay, that's one thing. And again, for pesticides, can you find some biopesticides, something like that? Some people are doing some work. I've read somewhere. So you can find from biological and natural herbs. You can probably find some pesticides of your sort. And then one thing that I remember suddenly, that your main problem is that growth of, you need lots of fertilizers. No. So can you find an alternative to fertilizers? That's the interesting thing. And in fact, I have read somewhere, I don't know very clearly, in Nagaland, for example, there are certain trees they plant near their paddy fields. And those trees, it seems, I don't know, it seems they promote nitrogen fixation in the soil. Okay, that's what I heard. I have not verified this. So some plants are there which can, it grows, but it can provide nitrogenous substance naturally. So therefore, this is also another very challenging problem, to find an alternative to chemical fertilizers.
Because organic also become costly. So what vegetables we are now getting, it is far cheaper than.
No, organically grown food are costly, obviously, because you are not using all these things and your crop yield is very small. That's why it's costly. So, but then that appears to be the only alternative now, unless some of you do some research work so that you can find an alternative to chemical fertilizers. So we have lots of population pressure that you say. But in talking about Germany, you know one thing, the river Rhine in Germany is filled with all the nitrogenous chemical thing, because from fertilizers they apply, they all come there. Germany is a country which become a very powerful state because of a discovery called Haber's process. So their fertilizers, nitrogen fixation, sorry, not nitrogen fixation, though they find. So we have to, and therefore river Rhine is filled with nitrous oxide gases, So therefore, this is one very important problem even for a serious scientific work in the area of biology. And also maybe inorganic chemistry, that you find a kind of a way to do nitrogen fixation using certain catalysts. under ordinary condition and pressure and temperature. Okay, because nitrogen reverse process is very high temperature, 300 degree, 500 degree atmospheric pressure, and also a catalyst. So if you replace this by biology, in biology, nitrogen fixation takes place how? Nitrogen, they take 8 electrons and 8 protons, they go to ammonia and hydrogen. That's a reaction. Okay, and that takes place at normal temperature, normal pressure, and so that's how it happens. So if you can do this, mimic this process by using some catalyst, that will be a great thing. Basically, talking about all this crop production, basically you have to encourage nitrogen fixation in the soil. Okay, so that you have to do it without using the enzyme, but using certain substances that can grow this. Other alternative, everybody knows that what you call that vermicompose. That also is there. But then problem of vermicompose that in your kitchen garden is okay, but the big huge field, 4 bigha land, is difficult.